cheers. Here's Siddle. Oh, that ball is close. He's given him. He's given him. Peter Siddle's got a hat-trick on his birthday.
All right, welcome back to the On the Ball podcast. This is episode 30 of the show. Today we're joined by a new guest, big Callum Elvins, as you can see on YouTube if you're watching there. But if not, if you're listening, welcome, Cal.
Thanks for having me. It's an honour and a privilege.
Yeah, as you were just saying before we came on, bit stiff to be held back to number 30, but you know, sometimes you got to save the best batsman to like 6 or 7.
Gilchrist, you've got like 30 more of those to go.
Yeah, Gilchrist batted at like 7 his whole career. He's a pretty handy player, so
did Cal.
Certainly not. Yeah, true.
Yeah.
No, he's like number 4 batsman in the ones. But
oh yeah.
actually,
I opened one.
I wouldn't know, mate.
Yeah, I don't even know. And then as you can hear and see, we're once again joined by Rhett. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. How you going?
Looks a bit chilly down in Tassie tonight.
Always is, mate.
Yeah, to be fair, it's not too warm here either. Today we're just basically going to be chatting shit about cricket. We've got a few like topics we're going to be discussing, but there's not really any specific topics. We're just bringing a few things to the table, and we're just going to, just chat generally about cricket, which is what we usually just chat about anyway.
We have no lives.
Yeah, pretty much. I've talked to you guys since like 2014. I think maybe 80% of the conversations have just been chatting shit about cricket. So
a little bit of French conversation in year 12.
Yeah. With Moz and Veronique.
Veronique, correct. I saw Veronique in Hampton like about a month ago, I reckon.
Did you speak French to her?
Nah, she was like across the road. I didn't even.
Oh, yeah.
She didn't see me, thankfully.
That's a classic combination, French and cricket.
French and cricket.
Cal, you wanted to. I didn't really have too many ideas of what we were going to talk about, and you thought it'd be an interesting idea if we all just brought something to the table that's like, well, a cricket anomaly. So something that's just bizarre that's basically happened in cricket, and we're just gonna, educate one another on that thing or event or person, and basically explain to the listeners why it's weird and just the details of that thing or event that makes it weird. So do you want to start us off, Cal? I know you've got something pretty bizarre lined up for us.
I'm not sure it's that bizarre. The kind of idea I had in my head, which maybe I didn't explain super well, was that everyone know that Facebook page Useless AFL Stats?
I think I might have seen a few things from it, but I don't know.
But it's just like the most ridiculous, like uber specific stuff that like has obviously no purpose.
Yeah.
And I just enjoy reading them a lot. So I was thinking, like, you could talk about that. There'd be even more useless cricket stats than AFL stats because cricket's like the most statistical sport ever.
Yeah,
for sure.
That's true.
But I don't know. Recently, I don't know how, but I found out about this guy who played Richard Cheekwee. His name is, which in itself is just a funny name, like Cheekwee.
That's funny.
Dashing middle order batsman for in a very strong era for New South Wales. A few stats on the man. Played 21 first class games, 1,029 runs at 28.58. High score of 105, only 100. There's a very impressive innings of him on YouTube actually in a Mercantile Mutual final, making 131.
And you've watched this innings?
Yeah. He waxed him. He's got the highest bat lift I've ever seen. But he was sort of, why I found him fascinating is just sort of a cult figure in the New South Wales sort of lineup because he apparently was like the biggest alpha dog in Sydney grade cricket ever. Absolutely took the piss. Unfortunately, it was in the 90s, so none of it's on my cricket. But the only thing I can find, he scored 11,000 first grade runs for Randwick Cricket Club. Played for over a decade. His most recent recorded game on My Cricket was a Australian Cricket Association Masters team versus an ACT Invitational 11. Bowled first ball. First ball back.
Man, I'm surprised he's not been on like. Well, I don't know. He might have been. I'm not the biggest.
He's been on the Grade Cricketer.
Yeah, I was gonna say. Surely he's been on
There's
that.
more to this story. I'm not done yet. All right. He was a lead singer. Didn't play an instrument, but lead singer of the band Six and Out. Right.
Okay.
You might have heard of them. Brett and Shane Lee were both in it.
Yeah.
Along with Brad McNamara and Gavin Robinson, who, I don't know, I think they were New South Wales first class players as well. They had one single to crack the ARIA top 100, which is called Can't Bowl, Can't Throw. About that incident with Joe the cameraman or whatever, you might remember.
Wait, what incident was that?
Well, it was I don't even know the details of it, but there was.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about. Like someone, everyone thought they were Warnie.
Yeah, they said it was. Yeah. Everyone thought it was Warnie, but it was actually. Then Joe the cameraman claimed responsibility, even though everyone knew it wasn't him.
Like he just told someone in their own team that they couldn't bowl or throw.
Yeah.
And everyone thought it was Warnie, and they had professionals test to say who it could be and shit like that.
And then the cameraman
it was pretty
copped it.
Yeah.
So Richard Cheekwee, Dick Cheekwee, Cheeks.
Dick Cheeks.
Whatever you want to call it. There's actually this. I thought he was the first Chinese Australian to ever play first class cricket, but he wasn't. The second, behind Hunter Poon. Luckily, his names aren't the other way around. Who played one game for Queensland in the 20s.
How's that even known?
I don't know, but he played for Queensland against Victoria at the G. Queensland batted first, all out 162. Victoria, 2 for 538 declared. Who done more hundreds? I can't remember who they were.
Oh my god.
Anyway, that's all I got.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it seems like a very odd unit. There's this West Tigers player called Michael Cheekham, and Lockie, every time we watch them, he's calls him Cheeky.
Yeah.
And then he calls him Richard Cheekwee. And I've never understood it till you brought it up last week.
Oh.
And then I Googled it. And I called him that nickname just because it was funny. And then I never knew what it meant. And then now I know. So
Cheeks. I looked up his Instagram.
Dick Cheeks.
He's got an active Instagram account, Richard Cheekwee. There's not much on there though. He's got less than 100 followers. Poor guy.
Come on, Cheek.
And the Grade Cricketer thing, they had, because he was a singer for that 6 and Out band, they had him on singing a song. This is a month ago. It wasn't even long ago. He does a bit of media stuff still.
Gets himself out and about.
That's impressive. Have you guys ever come across many Chinese Australian cricketers or not?
Yeah. Or not professional, but in the DBCA area, mate. We got a couple of guns, man.
Really?
Yeah, we had this kid.
I don't know many.
Nah, he got he was a half white, I think, half Asian. He was beast. He bombed gas and hit bombs. So.
Yeah, there was this guy in Brisbane junior cricket. He was a beast. His name was Aaron Teo. That's probably the only guy I know. I guess there could be people who are half Chinese or something.
That reminded me for some reason. Corker, when we were umpiring real early on in a junior final at Hurlingham Park, and there was this like
Yeah.
Asian kid who like claimed to bowl everything.
Oh, yeah. He
On everything.
got like left arm and right arm spin.
No way. Did he land them
And then
both?
every ball it would
Oh,
change.
shit.
So he'd be like, "Oh, this one's pace," and he'd like go back like 15 meters, and he'd like, "All right, I'll go leg this ball."
His name was like Teo
Yeah.
or something. I feel like.
Yeah. That was his name. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he was from Beaumaris, I think.
I don't know how I remember
Mercury
that.
Club for those listening. Yeah, that's random. That was so funny. Umpiring cricket, that was
Oh yeah.
some great memories doing that. So my cricket anomaly, it's a bit different. It's like, yeah, it's more just like a freak
Statistical.
innings. Yeah, it's more just a freak match.
Cork
A freak
loves
innings.
his statistics.
Yeah.
The king.
And Cal mentioned, because I wanted him to give me an example to like give me some inspiration, and he actually mentioned this game, but I didn't know it was this match. I just knew there was a match where Ben Dunk scored 230 not out in a one-dayer, and I just remember coming home from school and their innings had just finished, and I looked at the score and I was like, yeah, look, struggling to cop. So yeah. So basically, it was a one-day cup match in 2014 between Tasmania and Queensland. Queensland won by 7 wickets, and they chased down 398 with 3 overs left, which is probably not what you see every day. Ben Dunk scored
Skunk.
200. Benny Skunk. He scored 229 not out off 157 rocks, 13 sixes.
Shit.
So
Where was
he's
this
almost,
played?
he's al-
It's North
In his
Sydney. wasn't
backyard?
yeah, it just says Sydney, so I'd say North Sydney.
Some tiny.
That's where, yeah, that's tiny, that ground. It's 13 sixes, so he's almost scored a ton in sixes. Tim Payne, bit slow if you ask me, 125 of 127 rocks, only 4 sixes. So
Shit house.
if he'd opened with someone a bit better, they could have been looking at
450.
400 plus, 450, 500 maybe.
Like, how was that
and
around
then-
that time where Ben Dunk was like an absolute jet, like in the big,
Yeah.
like had a good as Big Bash year, and signed
Mate,
like
that
a
was so
15
Mate,
year
that
deal
was
with
the
the
biggest
Stars.
fluke. Like, if anyone's ever fluked a season, it was that season. Or,
He's like
or what
averaged
was
like
that other
10
bloke?
for Melbourne Stars since then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
From like 2010 to 2014, there was like Craig Simmons.
Yeah, I was thinking
Ben
Craig
Dunk,
Simmons.
Luke Palmer's back, and Travis Burt. All 4 of them were just like absolute weapons in the Big Bash. Yeah,
And
they were
sucked
absolute,
everywhere.
like they couldn't even make like the Shield team and stuff.
It was baseballs.
Yeah, like
Genuine.
Craig Simmons, I don't actually think had a WA contract. I think he just played the Scorchers, and in one year he was like one of the best batsmen in the Big Bash.
He made
Yeah,
like
he scored 100 in the
100.
final, I think, didn't he? Was that semi?
I don't know.
I'm pretty sure. Yeah, he got one of the fastest, I'm pretty sure, as well.
Hmm.
Outrageous.
So James Hopes, fair play to him. He's gone none for 38 off 10 overs.
In that
So-
game.
Yeah, economy rated 3.8. Hopesy,
That's ridiculous.
absolute legend of Queensland cricket.
That's
he's
better
one
than
of
the 200 from
Yeah, that actually is more
genuinely
impressive.
better.
And Locke has sometimes been called James Hopes due to his stocky nature, and I think that's criminal to James Hopes because I don't think Locke's producing those figures anytime soon when your team's getting thumped for 398. Some of the other finest figures, Paul George went for 101 off his 10 overs.
Ooh, Paul George.
Probably not the greatest day out, but he took a wicket, the only wicket. So you win some, you lose some. So, like, are you taking none for 86 or one for 101? It's
None for
If you
86,
take none
man.
for, it means you don't even have a bowling average for that game.
Yeah.
yeah,
So you
exactly.
got that.
Averaging 101.
Exactly. So
mean,
if
that's
you
like no
go
average.
on my cricket just for that game and sort by bowling average, he's
Peak.
best bowler on the side. So
Exactly.
Hopesy's not even coming up. So I don't know what Hopesy's on about in the change rooms. It's all Peter George's chirp that should be being heard. And then Queensland rollout. You're thinking they're absolutely cooked. Usman Khawaja, this is early on in his career, 2014. Probably would have only been to his 3rd or 4th year max. He whips out 166 of 110 rocks.
Jeez.
So
No,
he
I reckon it was
actually-
he made his test debut in about 2009 or 10.
yeah. Oh, really? I know.
I'll look it up.
He was very quick from his debut in like state cricket to Australia. So yeah, no, I probably could be wrong there. that stuff always confuses me. Like Dave Warner's been playing for like 10 years. I don't cop that.
Have you seen his TikTok career? It's actually got a better trajectory than his cricketing career. Like
Mate,
not,
he
not
gets,
even.
like,
2011.
4 million likes at TikTok.
Made his Test debut in 2011, first class debut in 2008.
Oh, so yeah, I was
So it'd been around for a
solid
bit.
6 years off. Yeah, so it was. Oh yeah, 'cause what am I talking about? Because he obviously started in New South Wales, so he's at Queensland at this point. So yeah, he's obviously a few years in. So I don't know why I forgot that. Yeah, he whipped out 166. Old mate Chris Hartley, who's just your absolute standard state cricketer, he whipped out 142 off 120.
Play ball on the beach ball.
behave.
So and then so they've gone 3 for 402 off 47 overs. So
Oh my god! Imagine
3
scoring
overs to spare.
230 and then losing.
So I just don't know what happened this day. Like, there's got to be an investigation into it because something wasn't right.
How many
I
runs
reckon
scored
they
in
just played
total?
on the Syntho deck.
How many runs in total? Exactly 800.
Yeah,
So
imagine if
4
someone
for
also had
800.
imagine the odds of total score being over 800. It'd be like literally 1 to 101.
Yeah,
Someone must have fixed that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's not right. Yeah, so 4 for 800 with the match figures. The average run rate for the match was 8.22, and Queensland still had 3 overs left in the bank. So you'd think they would have accelerated from there because they were only going at like a measly 9 and over. So
pathetic.
they would have been looking to pick up that run rate.
Jeez.
But yeah, if I'm honest, man of the match should have gone to James Hopes. He's been absolutely
No,
robbed
he's
there.
actually won in the game, man.
Ben Dunt copped it. I actually reckon Uzi's pretty stiff there. Match winning opening
Double
knock,
ton in a
166
one-dayer.
not there.
Did he bat through the game, Kawaja?
No, he didn't.
I don't know.
But he's batted to the 36th over, and he's basically led the side to victory.
I mean,
so I think that's pretty stiff.
When you make 240, like it's all,
Yeah, I
it
guess.
can't be your fault if your team loses.
Yeah, and like even though it was
Is he
only
bold?
6 years ago, this is still like that was new territory to be scoring double tons in a one dayer. Like
That'd
now
been
Rohit Sharma has just made a regular occurrence every match, but Benny Dunk, inspirational footy. A few others that I don't want to go into great detail of, but these are just some weird things. Like this is very general, but Murali's action is probably one of just the weirdest things in cricket ever. Like you see all these people taught from like you see all these people taught from when they're like 4 on how to bowl a cricket ball, and then you search up like who has the most test wickets and watch his action, and it just resembles absolutely nothing you taught. So it's like,
so
it's
what is he doing it wrong, or is everyone else doing it wrong?
I think
Yeah,
everyone else
exactly.
needs to just clock it.
I
Well,
reckon we
he's
need
like
to
famous
rethink
for
this.
having that. He had like I don't know double
Elbow.
joints in his elbow or something, where he
And,
could like
yeah.
fully turn his wrist
You
around.
can,
or
I
something
don't
like
think
that.
he can like straighten his elbow completely.
Yeah. And he I guess he doesn't chuck it. All the tests have been proven that he doesn't chuck it, except for Billy Bowden just pulling him up a couple times. That's actually ballsy footy from him. Another one, Shiv Chandapal, just having a great test career, just batting front on. Is probably one of the more rogue things. Once again, you're all taught from the age of like 4 or 5 to have your shoulder facing the bowler, your feet in line with middle stump, and here he is. The heel of his right foot is on middle peg. Like that's not.
He finishes
normal.
in the right spot though.
Yeah, I have to say it is overrated. Like it's just when he's facing up, it is true.
Same
It
with
actually
Bailey
doesn't
at the
really
end.
affect his technique. Yeah, and then another thing. This isn't like a fluke. This is just shit. Like this should be deleted from cricket history. Adam Voges' average,
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
yeah.
and
What
he
is it?
played just.
Like 75?
It's like 62. He has the 4th highest average ever in Test cricket, but second and third is Smith and Marner, so they could fall under him still, and then he could still finish with the 2nd highest average in Test cricket history.
And he played just enough games for it to
Yeah.
like be proper.
Yeah, exactly.
And they were
Usually the
all
minimum
against the West
requirement-
Indies, basically.
20
yeah,
innings
usually
or
the minimum
something.
requirements are 20 innings or like 15 tests or something, and he just played more than that. He had 7 not outs in 31 innings, 5 tons, 4 50s, and he had a 270 not out against the West Indies,
Yeah.
which basically was the reason.
I'm gonna say
Did he make a double ton against New Zealand as well?
Yeah, that was just
And he got
just
bowled.
made
Called a no ball, and then it wasn't even a no ball. Do you remember that?
Oh
no,
my
I don't
god.
think
He left one. He was on naught, I reckon. He left one and got bowled, and the on-field umpire called it a no ball, and then it wasn't even a no ball. And he
And
made
they
a double
can't
shot.
change it.
it's just the most random thing. And like the whole fact that he only started playing Test cricket when he was like 34, 33, like that just
Yeah.
makes it even weirder. Like
I swear it
it's
was
just
like
probably the strangest career of all time.
one tour to the West Indies where he made like
Yeah,
a ton every game,
yeah.
and
It was
it didn't go out. Like
it was a series in like March or something after the Australian summer. One of those series that just everyone turns off cricket, forgets
3
about it.
tests or something.
And then next minute you're looking at the all-time Test cricket list, and he's right up there with the Don. It has to be said though, thank God he had a couple rubbish tests laid on, which saved it. At one point he was
Would've
up
been
there
like
with the Don.
70.
with the
Scary.
Don.
It
Oh
was
my
getting
God.
scary up there with the Don, but yeah. So they're just a few I wanted to mention. Rhett, what are you bringing to the table, mate?
So mine's a bit on a different wavelength, but everyone
We're all on
talks
a different wavelength.
everyone talks about cricket as a religion, and people laugh at it. But my topic is peace in the Middle East. So cricket in the last 20 years is don't laugh just yet. Has been brought to Afghanistan. All right, and like before this, and anyone talks about Afghanistan, the first thing they think about terrorism, war, the Taliban. Now, at least, as like one of the most important things cricket's done for Afghanistan is, as soon as you mention Afghanistan, people think cricket. They think Rashid Khan. They think the World Cup. It's just rebranded Afghanistan, and the way that people in India look at cricket, and like in Afghanistan, that's the way they look at cricket now. It's just like provides them with a different kind of hope that like people don't look at them the same way as they once did just because of cricket. And like people laugh at like the way people act like in India and like Pakistan, Afghanistan around cricket. But like if you look behind it, the way, like the reasons why, like I reckon cricket should be a religion. Like you should be able to worship Rashid Khan, and I think could be the most peaceful religion in the world.
Except for the change rooms on a Saturday morning. When someone's walked in after being
So just
triggered.
sandpaper gets involved.
Yeah. Australia just ruins everything. Too competitive.
The people in Afghanistan are like actually saying that like the way like the culture of cricket is like changing the culture of like the Afghanistan people. Like they say it's the gentleman's game, and like it's kind of changing the way people act in Afghanistan. Like people are more like becoming more peaceful and like respectful just because of the game, the great game.
Absolute leaders of the nation.
Mate, the game that leads to nothing but depression in Australia.
The fat opening batsman from Afghanistan. The wicket keeper, he like can't play cricket. He just tees off.
They've gone from, they developed their like cricket board only 20 years ago, and in 20 years they'll reach the World Cup. And like they're not even just like in there. Like people actually think of them as a threat.
Yeah, I'm pretty
it's
sure
pretty impressive.
They've beaten Ireland, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
So
Ireland have had the same people playing for them since like 2003.
Yeah. They've had people like Paul Sterling and like Porterfield.
Ed something?
Ed Joyce. Yeah.
Ed Joyce. It's been
like
since like the 90s.
They're just county cricketers, and then they just have a full-time career for Ireland playing Test cricket now. It's an absolute joke. Nah, Afghanistan definitely have like rebranded. Like this is just me being ignorant, but like before they became good at cricket, I'd kind of like in my head I would bracket them together with like Iraq and Syria and stuff like that. But now, if you ask me what I thought of Afghanistan, I'd put them in like the subcontinent with like Sri Lanka, India, Pakistan, and that was just like through my ignorance because, as you said, all we would associate with Afghanistan would be like terrorism and stuff like that.
Yeah, like I don't think if you ask anyone on the street before cricket, I don't think they could tell you one thing about Afghanistan apart from the war or like terrorism. Like I don't like even now I don't know anything about Afghanistan apart from
Rashid
like
Khan's
the
Rollins.
negative things.
Okay, we have to mention though, Rashid Khan. He's at least 35.
That's one of the things. Like a lot of people from that like area, like they don't even know how old they are.
Yeah,
Even like
And
a lot of
they
Pakistanis.
use that to their benefit.
yeah.
They're all
Which,
born on
you
the
know-
1st of January.
Respected. Yeah, they're all born on the 1st of January.
Hey, when Rashid Khan first came out and he was like 18 or whatever, and he just had like he just wasn't. Sorry.
It's full
What
beard.
media might tell me you're 18?
I remember there was this like news story that came out of India like 3 or 4 years ago, and it was like some bloke had like broken the record in like professional soccer. He'd like made his debut when he was like 14 or something. It just like turned out he was like 25. Like they like proved it like a month later, and it was just like completely wrong.
Oh my god!
Only by 11 years.
Yeah, like it was just like not even close.
It's like
Imagine being
No,
25
one,
and thinking you could pull off a
three,
14.
14, you're not even
three.
finished growing. Like I don't know how they've claimed it, but yeah, no, I don't know what's going on there.
Just
Were there any others you guys were thinking of? I made like a bit of a list. There were just some other random things like they probably weren't as bizarre as like Richard Cheekwy's Sheffield Shield career for New South Wales, but just random stuff like Michael Clarke bowling Australia to victory despite going down as one of Australia's great batsmen.
Yeah.
Stuff like Brad Hodges' career, or like his Test career. I mean,
Yeah, that's another one I was thinking about.
yeah, like just casually would come into the side, make 200, get dropped as you do.
Then be
and-
the most weird coach for Haileybury ever.
Yeah, and then there's a guy, I think his name's like Gary Gilmore or something. He played like 2 or 3 series. No, he played more than that, but he had like these 2 years in the early 80s or late 80s, I think. And he had like a bowling average of like 15. And him and Dennis Lilly would just like destroy England. And he just like, I think he got an injury or something and then just completely disappeared. But at one point, it looked like he was going to be like the world's best bowler. Apparently, like hooped at like 2 meters every nut or something.
It's kind of like Bob Massey took 16 for on Test debut and like only played 2 more tests after that.
Yeah, there's so many random stories. And like,
16 for.
yeah, there's so many guys. Like, even Dad. My dad always goes on about how Jeff Thompson's like the greatest cricketer he's ever seen.
Yeah.
And he reckons like he broke his back or something. And he apparently came back. And my dad, like, this probably isn't true, but Dad reckons he bowled like 20k slower after that. He reckons he like genuinely bowled 150 before the injury. But yeah, a lot of guys just get ruined by injury in
Yeah.
cricket. Jimmy Pattinson, the great man. Could be Australia's greatest cricketer of all time, if not for injury. All right, so that's probably it for the weird part of the video where we just.
Whoa,
chat
wait,
about
one more
random
thing.
shit. Oh yeah, what do you got?
Well, we were talking about the Queensland chasing down 400 or whatever.
Yeah.
Everyone knows about the 5th ODI in 2006, Australia versus South Africa,
No.
where Australia made 434 batting first and South Africa chased it down 9 down.
Yeah.
Wait, what? I've
know
never heard
about
of it in
this?
my life.
I've heard about Australia losing and making 400 and something.
Ponting made 164 off 105. The destroyer for South Africa won Herschel Gibbs, 175 off 111.
Catch it, Herschel, you dog.
Dropped the World Cup.
Yeah.
But that's an even more remarkable in a international.
In the international.
Where was that played?
Joburg, I think.
Oh, okay. I was
It's
going to
one of
say,
those-
surely if it's in Australia, there's like no grounds that would.
It's on the Hazlitt.
Don't they play at like super high elevation in South Africa? Is that Cape Town? Where like the ball just sails?
Yeah, there's that one like next to the mountain. I
Yeah.
don't know which one it is.
The one
There's somewhere
where
in New Zealand called like
Eden Park, is it?
no, it's like they've only played like some domestic one days there. It's called like Papuka Park or something. It's got a weird name. So you might find it.
Do they just make silly runs there?
Yeah, and it's like genuinely tiny.
I'll tell you what, it's a tiny ground. The Dandenong second ground.
Wilson.
It's like 20
Clarko.
meters on one side. It's like genuinely 20 meters to find leg. Like
Into
you could
the-
actually
that canal
just
is
put it
like-
for 6.
That canal is like a top edge.
Yeah.
Buckley Ridge's ground, probably the smallest ground in world cricket.
Yeah.
Park Oval.
Yeah, that actually is pretty small.
It's generally like
That's
leading edges. Like leading edges don't go over the fence; they clear the fence by about 20 meters.
Wait, did you say Park Oval or Clark Oval?
No, park.
Oh, that is.
It's genuinely the size of a kid's playground.
That's like
Park
High
Oval.
Street Road. Just choose street or road lines.
Like,
You don't need to go.
Think about the Fisher, half the size of the Fisher.
Yeah.
The fish.
All right. So next we'll just roll into. I feel like we have some pretty rogue taste in cricketers. Like you've got your stock standard blokes, just love Davey Warner, Marnus, you know. But
Davey Warner. Oh,
who are your favourite cricketers? This is a
Alright.
tough topic. Like I have to wrestle with this topic. Like I don't know what I like. I don't know what tickles my fancy. Like it's a tough one.
Like, I feel like I enjoy like innings and like specific performances rather than like players in general.
Yeah.
yeah.
Like on some days I'll like love someone, other days they're just whatever. But they'll just have that one day where they're just like, it's like Ben Dunk making 200. He's like the best player in the world on that day.
Yeah.
Otherwise, it's pretty average.
Cricket is generally. I don't think there's any sport in the world where like you can just be the best player on the pitch on one day, like just like
Yeah.
by miles.
Yeah, it's
And
actually a
then
good point.
like, but that would never happen in any other sport. Like consistently, just a different player just looks like the best player on the ground.
And also, I guess because you can only make one mistake, especially as a batsman. Like
Yeah,
you may not actually be the most talented player in the game, but like if Steve Smith gets out just doing something stupid on 10 runs, well then you could score 20, even though you're a 100% worse cricketer. Where like in basketball, if you like miss one shot, well then it's all right. You can just go take another one.
yeah,
30
and it's so
seconds later.
unique how like the different like opponents or the different pitch or the different like stadium can affect who performs the best so much. Like there can't be any sport like
variables
that.
out of any sport.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Do you guys reckon it's the most technical sport in the world?
Oh,
It's
golf.
the
I
most
think golf is,
idiosyncratic sport in the world, for sure.
Yeah,
I reckon golf's pretty technical because like opposite to cricket, it's like everything except for like the wind, everything is like still. And there's like no
Yeah.
other players in the game. So it's like 100% down to your technique.
Playing
whether
yourself
you hit
in
the ball
golf,
well or
aren't you?
not. Yeah. I guess it also like your mind's a factor, I guess.
yeah.
Cricket's just the worst sport though. Like I don't think I've ever seen a sport where so many people just get angry and like 80% of the time someone gets out, they're not out. Like no one ever accepts they're out.
So it doesn't make
It
it
has to
bold.
be the most frustrating sport, surely. Like I can't imagine any sport being more frustrating.
Well,
Like the
effort to reward ratio is just fucked.
Like
Yeah, and
when
it's
what's his name from Haileybury? Who's like sport builds character. What's that
Oh.
bloke's name?
Mr.
Alcock.
Alcock. so-
Alcock. Come on.
Alcock. Mate, cricket builds character. Like no shit.
It takes
No.
a certain type.
Yeah, like you have to be pretty resilient to just go back and just be defeated again and again. Like it's like just standing there every Saturday, just walking up to someone and just someone clocking you every Saturday. Just bang. Just
First
ball,
great as
go again.
advertising.
Well, it's pretty hard to advertise cricket.
It actually
It
is.
does not have much going for it. It takes like 6 hours.
Oh, and the
Like,
rest.
as Brad Hodge once said to us in a pre-season at school cricket, that you probably have 15 days a cricket season. You're only happy every 3. You're only happy 3 times a season.
Yeah, you only
Like,
perform like
yeah.
3 times a season. So when you
Yeah.
perform, you better cash in. Like, imagine
Yeah.
that being the way you advertise cricket to kids. Like, fuck that, man. I feel
So
sorry.
anyone listening, don't play cricket. Go find another sport. No, the good thing about cricket, the only thing I love about cricket is like, I feel like cricket attracts good types of blokes because like
It builds good types of blokes, man. That's what I'm saying. It morphs your character.
Why can't
But I
just give
feel
up
like-
at like as soon as it becomes like an all day thing on a Saturday?
yeah, exactly. Like shit blokes, they'll play till like under 12s, and then, not saying everyone who quits at under 12s is shit bloke, but like it
Mostly.
filters out all the bad
Yeah.
people. you
A lot
know?
of people
And then-
quit when they realize how like mentally hard it is.
yeah,
Like-
and then like by the time we're like in year 11 and 12, at school, like we're legit only left with like people we like pretty much. Well,
Yeah. And
maybe I'm
Rhett.
speaking out of turn. Yeah, maybe unless you guys have got something to say to me, but
You were
Yeah,
gonna quit
so-
against St. Kevin's halfway through a game.
Who? Me?
Or cool.
Cool.
well, that was
Did you drop a catch? Or was it like,
Just wasn't getting
Wait,
the
which
ball.
one? There's many times.
In year 12, we're
There's
getting
one
scared.
time. Oh yeah.
Changing to
I'd
tennis.
formulated my email to Mr. Headlam about how I was changing to tennis. Like I'd thought about the words.
exactly the
Yeah,
same
took
thing you
like
did in
3.
soccer?
Yeah,
was
I was
like,
gonna
"Nah,
say
I'm
that
out,
that
mate."
night. Yeah, I thought you were talking about Cal when my debut in the prestigious 8As. I retired hurt on about my 10th nut, got hit in the ribs. So I was
Oh,
like,
I don't
Cal
remember
knows a
that.
thing or two about retiring hurt.
yeah, I wasn't there
Mate.
that day. We were talking about this.
Should
on
we
the
tell
la-
that
on
story,
one of
Cal?
the last episodes.
Wait. Say that again.
I said you know a thing or two about retiring.
Yeah. That was a classic.
Oh my
I don't think
God.
anyone's ever been ridiculed more for something that happened in a Year 7 cricket game.
No, it was
It
you,
was
right?
year 8, actually.
Oh, really?
That
It
makes
was
it
like
worse.
end of year 7.
Oh
We were
my
opening
God.
together, weren't we?
Yeah. Because I remember I faced the first ball and I
Yeah,
got hit
I
in the
remember
thigh
that.
pad as well. And I was like, oh shit, that hurts. And then you get hit in the thigh pad like your first ball and you're just
I
like,
didn't get hit.
out of here.
It missed the thigh pad. That's why it hurt so bad. And I was out of there. And no, but the best part is at the end when I was feeling alright and they had like their Unco as bowlers on. So I went out there and just like whacked a couple of fours. And then Evans went to come back on. But I retired hurt again and sent Croft.
Wait, what was your reason for the second retiring hurt?
He
Like,
was scared.
did you give a reason though?
No,
I
you didn't
think I
even
just
get hit.
I don't know. I don't even remember. I don't know how I managed to.
No, I remember. You came back on right. I don't even think you faced the ball and you just signaled, mate, and you came off, and I was just pissing myself.
Mate, there's
Yeah, I didn't
something,
face Evans again.
Yeah.
There's something-
Oh my God.
so cooked psychologically about facing a fast bowler. Like, I do not know what it is.
Oh,
Realistically,
it's the thought of death, mate. That's what it is for me. I'm like, fuck that.
yeah, but like realistically, at the level, especially then when we were playing, it's not lethal.
Oh,
So
but
it's
like
Oh,
I
I don't know
reckon-
about that, mate.
Evans back then, relative to everyone else, was quicker than he is now. If you know what I mean.
Yeah,
yeah.
for sure.
Like compared to everyone else.
His standard deviation. He's an absolute outlier.
Yeah, he was a massive outlier.
He was a
more
man.
so
Cut
than he
off
is
by
now.
that upper fence.
Played
He was a
against
man.
him. Played against him last season
Oh, really?
for club cricket because he wasn't bowling because he was injured. He was playing twos as a batsman.
Matt, do you remember in that game he absolutely like whacked him as well?
Yeah, he was a man
Like-
child.
Yeah.
Zach, if you're listening,
Yeah.
no chance of that.
If I ever play you again, square up. I dare you to put one on the chin, mate. You can go get the ball from the fence. Actually, it'll be at the Wilson because he'll be dropped to the threes. I'll just put him in the river.
Oh my God.
I faced 4 balls off him. 2, well, one of them I ended up on the surface of the pitch, face planted. It was like a
Oh.
Yorker outside leg stump, and it
This
smacked
was in
me
the
in, like, my
practice round,
ankle.
wasn't it?
Yeah, and I just like flopped, lost my balance. That was pretty embarrassing.
You batted
Next
with your...
one, yeah, I batted with my inners in my pocket. I told that story on like another episode.
Yeah,
I was
like,
just so
that was like
scared.
about 2 weeks ago, last week. I mean,
I was so scared I didn't forgot to put on my inners before I went out to bat. Second ball almost did the exact same thing. Almost fell over, lost my balance again, and then third and fourth ones were outside off. So stylish leave. Looked like you're not leaving it as it's hitting the keeper's gloves. But yeah, we were talking about the other week, Cal. Do you remember that Scotch game?
The one where we won by like 1 run.
yeah,
Yeah,
That was... Who took that last wicket?
Giles.
Gilesy.
Oh, Giles, yeah.
Yeah, we did an episode the other week where we said our top 3 favorite sporting moments. This actually made my top 3 because I couldn't really. I'll be honest, I
Yeah.
couldn't think too well. But more just the reaction that it.
Yeah, no, that was a good game. That was a good like team. Like all the
Yeah.
lads were there that day.
Yeah.
You're 9 and 10. I
Surprised.
have to say. They were some of my more enjoyable cricket days. What are your favourite memories of school cricket, Cal?
Like
Very specific or just
in many
general?
ways, like you think we won a premiership, like that'd be obvious, but like
Yeah, no.
it just was
not for me.
weird. Like
Yeah.
it didn't feel like right.
Well,
like
we lost to the second and third team.
I know. It's like I was thinking about this the other day. I've won four cricket premierships overall.
Yeah.
One in like under 14 Bs or something. One like Dowling, like under 16 state thing.
Yeah.
School cricket. And then the season just gone in Premier Twos.
Yeah.
And all of them are asterisks. Like none of them are like proper. Like the first like under 14s one, I was like not there for the grand final because we were on like camp. The second one, Dowling, we were randomly allowed to get Mackenzie Harvey to play in the final, even though he hadn't played for us the whole thing.
And
And
how
they
many
won us the game. School
How many
cricket,
games?
obviously, we like lost to second and third and like got that weird as outright against Wesley. And then season just gone, COVID. Was that the same for you? Did your fours win?
Yeah, we won the fourth as well. We obviously didn't get to play the final.
Yeah.
Or
Oh,
the
yeah, I'm
semi-final.
claiming that. I'm adding that to my premiership list.
Yeah. We didn't get to play the semi-final either, did we?
No, just the first final. We beat our game. Our first final was so good though. We beat like
Really?
half of St Kilda's ones.
Did they all just tank? Like,
No,
did
because
all
they
just
had
come
like
down?
all
They had
the
all the big
Australian
players.
players.
Yeah,
They had like
Marcus
Hanscom,
Harris and Hanscom.
Harris, and all that. Yeah,
Yeah, nah.
but still. So I haven't won a premiership properly.
Yeah, I'll
what's
be
your
honest.
What's your favourite cricketing memory then, Cal? If you can think of one or a couple.
Like, I don't know. When I nicked off against Geelong College that time on 20 and got given not out, and I absolutely belted it.
I
And
remember.
they
This
won
game.
us the game.
I think I remember this game. I think you were playing Call. I think
Wait, I think that was one of my
was 20 your first
standard
50s,
20
Cal?
off 60 rocks.
Maybe.
I think I remember, Cal.
It was in year
you hit a
12.
six. Oh,
No?
year 12. Oh,
Yeah.
I
We're
was
doing year
thinking of when
12.
we played Geelong College in year 10 and you came in at like 6 and you scored like 60 or something.
I was thinking like year 8.
yeah.
I was
And
thinking
I
like a year
remember you
8 game.
smacked this guy on a straight drive and it was either 6 or like a one bounce 4 and it was just like an alpha shot in year 10. It's like no one does that.
No, I
Oh,
remember.
Cal, what
I
about
remember
you?
that game. Rhett came in at the end and like it's the only time I've
Yeah.
ever seen you like try and whack him.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
I don't remember this then.
Yeah,
It was at Geelong.
me and Frog opened the batting and we batted for like 20 overs and we were going at like a run rate of like 2.
Oh, I think I might have
standard,
remembered
right?
this game. Like when, yeah.
And Locke was playing in the ones on the main ground because I remember my dad was like standing in between both because we were batting at the same time. He made his standard classy 15 off like 10 balls.
Yeah, what year was this, Cal?
I don't know.
This would have
Year
been
10 or 9. I can't tell the difference, to be honest.
Oh, now I remember. It was on
been-
like that background. It was like really
Yeah.
nice.
And I remember
Wait,
both.
so what's the one you were talking about, Cal?
How many did you make in that game, Cal?
Less than 50. I reckon like late 40s, 46 or something.
Which
Yeah.
at that time, that's 150.
Because I remember,
What's the one you're actually talking about?
it was in year 12 when we against Geelong Grammar, where we like
Testing the memory.
when Giles and I batted for ages at the end.
Oh, when you broke the record for the
Yeah.
last.
Wait, is that when they batted for quite a while? And then we got the final wicket with like an hour and a half to go, and you you bowled a Yorker to that little kid, and he like schnicked off to second slip or something.
Yeah, it wasn't even out. It was like a bump ball.
Yeah, and that guy batted for freaking ages. He made like 60 off like 200 balls, and I think that guy almost, I don't know if he actually does, but he was close to getting drafted. But yeah, anyway, that's just a
Was that
random fact.
Caleb Sarong?
Oh, I think he was playing in the team, but I can't remember what the guy's name was.
Yeah.
I remember playing him in the what's it called? It's actually called like Scorpions and stuff.
Yeah, pathways or whatever.
Yeah, like he bowled like these offies. They're two brothers, right? One of them was bowling offies, and he bowled like none for 9 off 10 overs. Like just bowling like darts. It was actually insane.
Another real early memory was remember Rhett, we played under
Yeah.
14 like bottom age
You're
seeker.
playing like at 5 as like a pinch hitter.
Yeah, and
It
you
was
opened.
unreal.
I reckon you opened the batting one day at LePage Park, number 2,
And I made, like-
mate, genuinely two off, like 30 overs.
Like, yeah.
Like, it was ridiculous.
And then
Yeah,
I
I
come
can
off, and the
relate.
guy was like, "Well done, mate. Well done." And I'm just like, I genuinely just couldn't hit off the square.
It was like the most like, it was like ridiculous. It was something obscene. It was like genuinely like 2 off 20 overs or something.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that day was a 40 over game. We made 90, 98 and like one
Yeah.
easy.
Defended it. I remember.
And then I can't believe we lost in the final. Like that was.
Yeah, especially
What's
if
your-
Gibb was playing.
What's your favourite memory, Cal, from the UK tour?
I don't
Gotta
know.
be
We were
probably the
talking about
same
this
as
the
you.
other week. Redos was saying, wait, what were you saying? At Halebury, the first game when he made like 50 or something.
Oh,
Or
yeah.
20. And then I said Sedborough, because obviously that was my first 50. But
yeah.
what are you saying?
Yeah, you made 50. I made 60, and you got man of the match. I remember.
No.
That.
Yeah, I know.
We talked
I
about that exact
I was
thing
like,
before.
I was saying, I bet you Cal's still mad about it. And there we go.
No,
Yeah,
I nicked off on about 10 that day, I reckon, and got given not out.
All I remember is I didn't hit a boundary. And I was so tired that day. When I got my 50, I was just like wanting to get out. Yeah, Locke wears that shirt still because I got given a shirt, but it was like an extra large. So it's like down to my knees. So yeah.
There you go. No, I reckon it wouldn't even be like cricket, like the best memory.
Yeah. That guy at Wellwyn Garden City saying the C word.
Oh, yeah.
Are you talking about the very first day? Like the first
Yeah,
day?
when you got lipped off for wearing a hoodie.
Wearing a hoodie.
Oh, yeah. Fucking Tab and I was just like, you look like a fucking dickhead, man. I was like,
Yeah.
fucking right. Man.
Acting as if it's some formal club, and then we roll in. The guy, like, first sentence just says a C word. Like, nice Tab. I think he's bothered by a hoodie.
Yeah, that was a piss.
I remember when he got like we were playing in Brighton and they like forgot to cover the pitch or something.
Yeah, we just played soccer. Cal and net. That soccer game we had like over the whole tour, over the whole tour.
Yeah,
that was probably better than the cricket.
Yeah,
It
genuine.
was a lead.
Mate, it was actually weird. Like, there was genuine fights on the tour, though. Like,
Yeah.
Your brother and Gassy went at it a
Yeah,
couple.
there was Locke and Gassy ended up in like a bush,
Just
like on the ground, like had each other by the throat. And then there was that time where like Tanny and Brett were like fighting, and then Brett was just going to be like, "Yeah, we're not playing anymore," because it was something to do with like Tanny did something that wasn't in the rules or something, and then Tanny just like kept complaining about it for like 3 days.
And do you remember Tanny walking off in the desert, just strolling off in the desert?
Yeah, that's my favorite memory.
We got about that.
I was looking at photos the other day. Absolute piss off. We
went
actually
so
got to the
far.
point. He was like, looked like an ant. Like he
It
was
looked
so
like a grain
far.
of rice, just like footsteps in the sand.
We
Oh.
like you could not see him. And the thing was, the view didn't change the further you walked. So I don't really know what he was
Just
What's the
achieving.
thing?
by
He's gonna
walking.
find like a lake or something.
Yeah, I think like several kilometers one way, you could get to the border of like Jordan or Oman. So maybe it was on a hunt.
I need to get this stamp on my passport, boys.
Yeah, I'm not sure how the view does change if you go 1 June or 7 Junes away. So pretty weird from
It's just
Canada.
man, the 4x4 ride though was one of the best memories as well.
Food was good
Wait,
that night as
what?
well. I
A
remember.
4x4 ride?
Remember we were driving on the dunes in the
Oh,
Range
yeah,
Rovers?
yeah.
That was unreal.
I have a video of that. I was like filming
Oh,
for
really?
like 30
Send it.
seconds. Oh, it's like, yeah, I will, but it's just like a weird video.
Grainy piece of shit, but still.
Yeah, well, because we're going like this, you like can't see anything. It's just like of the roof of the car and like a few heads.
I have a picture of me holding that like falcon thing.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I got the funniest story about that. It was at Sedba, I remember. So that was sort of like middle to later of the tour, right?
Yeah, it was at the end.
We were pretty tired, and Gib and I were sharing a room, and we were just like both, just like on our phones, just like laying on our beds or whatever, just not just pretty conked or whatever. And then Froggy like walked in, didn't knock or say anything, just like opened the door, walked in, sat down, like no noise, and then just farted.
What is that story? Oh my god.
That's a power move by Frog. He's making an entrance,
It's weird.
asserting his dominance on the room. I like it.
I didn't know what to make of it. I remember just like not knowing whether to laugh or like just try.
Do you remember we just kept watching Jimmy Carr? Was it Jimmy Carr or like Mock of the Week?
Oh, yeah, it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
Frankie Boyle.
Frankie
or
Boyle.
whatever his
Frankie
name.
Boyle.
Yeah, you just kept showing us that. Do you remember what I don't know what this because you know how everyone used to say all that stuff like give me your head in a chamber and all this stuff, and then I said something like boys or lads or something like that, and we all had these little catchphrases, and then it got halfway through and we're like, all right, if you say that,
I know where this
getting
story is
slapped.
going.
And yeah, I have a video of on my phone of Cal slapping Rhett on the thigh.
Yeah, every time we said it, we just slap each other, and then me and you started like full fighting.
Yeah,
I don't
yeah, we
remember that.
wrestled for like half an
Do you
hour.
remember that, Cal?
No.
Yeah.
We were in one of the hotels.
I don't know what the catchphrases were that we used to
It
say.
was like,
So what was
Give
the
me your
main
head.
one?
Yeah,
give
give
me
me
your
your head.
No, I swear it was something else. Oh,
give me
myth. It
you
was
two in the
myth.
chamber or something.
Yeah, the give me your head in the chamber. That was just annoying. Because that
There was one more. There was one more. It was give me your head or
It
something.
was someone. It was myth, wasn't it? Everyone said.
Oh, calling each other myths. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
That's
Swear it was
looking
that.
back. That's a weird call. It doesn't make much
Yeah,
sense.
I remember we
actually.
just did that thing where we like slapped each other every time we said one of those things, and then
I
me and
remember
Cool just started.
Lock bowled one, and the guy like played and missed, and he just like walked at him and just shouted myth at him.
Oh yeah. Oh wait, do you remember this? Do you remember that?
The myth ball.
Everyone used to do that.
I remember-
Oh yeah, the myth ball.
No.
And then I don't know who it was. It was either Tab or Leezy. They like told him off for it or something. Like they were saying it was like disgusting behavior or something. Talking like they were taking the piss out of the other team or something like that.
I remember
Yeah.
at Marlborough, like we
Yeah,
all
lost-
sucked on that day, and then your brother went out and batted.
We had like 25 on 5, and he was
Yeah.
like doing this with his gloves. Mate,
And then these
it
guys
makes
were
no
yelling
sense to
like,
anyone.
"Oh my god, those guys probably thought we were fucking insane."
That place was cooked though. Like how bougie was that
like,
place?
how good was it?
We had
Like
the
they had like a
butler.
little town.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I swear.
And we had the butler at lunch, and he like served us dessert.
Oh yeah, that was fun.
And I remember he was like, "Do you want like strawberries and cream or something else?" And I just like couldn't understand him, and it was just like awkward footy. But yeah.
That night, I remember. I swear there was like something in my air conditioning or something. Well, like I just couldn't, like literally couldn't sleep. Like just was awake the entire night.
Where did we sleep that night? I
Well,
can't
We
one of
remember.
had
the
like
boarding
our
house.
own rooms. Well, I did anyway.
Yeah,
We
same.
had a room in the boarding house, and yeah, I don't know if it's the same for you, but I legit had my own room. I had like a bathroom and a bed.
Yeah. No, you were
I
the only
have
one that had
no
his own
recollection of
bathroom.
this. I have like a zero recollection of that night.
That
Yeah,
was
they
the
all
night
kind of
that
merged into one. It's
Iceland
only, like 50
beat
places.
Iceland.
Yeah, I remember the
beat,
Iceland stuff,
Yeah,
but I don't remember
England, and
sleeping.
that guy in the red English jersey, he was like crying. He was like, "Yeah, nice footy, mate. Nice."
pretty crazy we were there during the EU referendum as well.
Yeah, I know, mate. That came up.
Oh,
my
do you remember
brother
the
was doing
march?
a quiz or something.
Yeah.
Do you remember
It
the
was like-
march?
Wait, which march?
There was
New
like
York.
we were in one of the cities and there was like a rally or some shit, a
And we
protest.
like joined in.
Yeah,
vaguely.
we jumped into like the protest. Yeah,
Yeah, no, I remember though that it was on during that time. Wait,
And
did
we went
David Cameron like step down during that time, or?
Yeah,
I remember we drove past somewhere in London where everyone thought he was or something, or we saw his car, something like
I
that.
think we drove past like the front of Dowling Street or something.
Yeah,
And they were
maybe.
like setting up for a press conference and everyone.
Yeah,
was,
something like
saying-
that. I mean, what was the market we went to that ended up being like bombed or whatever?
Oh, like yeah, near the bridge.
Yeah,
Near
and that
Oh,
market
what?
was.
I don't know how I forget what it's called, like the London Bridge Markets or something. Yeah, we went back. This is so random. So I went to the UK in January and December, and we went back to those markets. I don't know if you remember, Rhett. I had this like elite prawn wrap. It was
Yeah,
like
no,
Jamaican.
we both had it. It was
Jamaican thing.
insane.
I
Oh,
went
yeah.
back to try and find that exact wrap because I remember I like frothed it,
Yeah,
and it was no longer there. But yeah,
I remember
anyway,
that day now thinking about it.
yeah. Did you have the same thing as us,
That's the day
Cal?
I don't think so, no.
that's the day we walked like 18 kilometers or
Yeah.
something. But that was actually cool.
That was a
even though we
good
walked
day.
So far. Mate, that was just such a strange tour. Like there was just so many strange things that occurred.
Where were we all 15 during that?
Yeah, we were
Yeah, I
young.
know.
We looked like
That's
babies.
actually pretty. That's
Just
pretty
let
rogue.
loose on the fucking streets of London.
Yeah, mate. Like, and I was like 14 when I went to Sri Lanka, and like the teachers in charge of me were like Duncan Bawley and Tab. Like, that was
Duncan
insane.
Bawley's got to be.
I reckon when
That
the
was
first
that
time I went to
state.
Sri Lanka, I was like 12, like on that cricket thing.
Yeah. Mate, yeah, I
That was
don't know.
insane.
Mate, UK tour was just elite though. Like at
Yeah,
the time, I feel like I didn't appreciate it, but now looking back, I'm like, yeah, that was actually a pisser.
but I remember we enjoyed like every minute of that shit.
Yeah, mate, I remember. I don't know why, but I used to always just get like a kick out of people falling asleep on the bus. Like I remember Rhett. That's when we like learned that you sleep with your eyes open like a little bit, like
Oh,
when
yeah.
you sleep and then your eyes
Genuinely
slowly
half
open.
open, yeah.
And like everyone was like stunned by that, even though when you think about it, it's actually not even that like crazy. It's like yeah,
Like I
sweet.
already knew, mate. Like I've been doing that since I was like,
Yeah.
since
And
I can remember.
There was just so much random shit. Like I was just
Remember
looking through my photos the other
singing,
week.
everybody singing on the bus, like
One
One Direction and shit.
Yeah, mate, it was just
Like
weird.
you think of those blokes, and if you couldn't even like picture them doing it unless you'd seen it.
I know Elvis. You went on the Uluru option, didn't you, in year 9?
Yeah, you were on that. Yeah, I remember.
Yeah, and like that's all we used to do. Like that's all the trip was, just like sitting on a bus singing. Like it was actually weird as.
I remember because it was like a little bus as well. It was like the big bus and a little bus.
Yeah,
And I was on
Miss
the little
Eakins.
bus like half the time.
Yeah, we went on the little bus once with Miss Eakins, and she like thought she was like one of the boys. Like she sat at the back with us and stuff, and it was just a bit odd. And like her daughter or something was a musician, something like that. And she used to like show us. She did like Ed Sheeran covers or something like that. And she would like make us watch them and stuff. And it was like, yeah, this is just.
That was pretty fun. That thing.
Yeah, where did you? So for those listening, like surely there's no one listening at this point. We're just talking absolute dribble. But in year 9 at our school, you get to choose a camp to go on pretty much. And me and Cal went to Uluru in the Northern Territory. Rhett, you went to the Gold Coast, didn't you?
Yeah, I went to that like sports. It was like a sports camp thing.
Yeah.
Was that any good?
Yeah, it was actually. Fuck, I don't even remember. Like, I hardly remember it. Like, I just remember there being workouts and stuff that were like, some of them were like pretty hard. And then, yeah, I think I just remember like becoming friends with like Peanut and stuff.
Yeah.
I remember that one costing like $3,000 and ours was free.
Yeah. I won't lie. Like, my parents didn't care about paying for stuff, but like subconsciously, I was like, that was a large factor of why I chose Uluru because I just like felt bad.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh, no, I'll go Uluru. But in the end, I was happy with it. Even though we just sat on a bus, it was fun. But we genuinely just sat on the bus the whole time.
Yeah, because like now I think about going on like a road trip to like Uluru and stuff, and like that seems like so much fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Rather than the Moldy Goldie.
Mate, Tennant Creek and Catherine, just have your wits about you, I reckon.
Yeah. Actually,
mate, we did a stop in Tennant Creek. I remember, like that's probably one of the more sketchier places I've ever been. Like,
Why? What happened?
I don't know. Everyone was just like lurking around the streets. Like there was this park that we walked past, and there was just like 2 tables there, and there was just like 50 people just like standing in the park, and like felt like we were about to get like just gangbanged. Like I was just frightened. I don't know. Also, like at that point still haven't, to be fair, but at that point hadn't had like much interaction with like Indigenous communities and stuff, so probably a bit of like subconscious racism going on from me. But yeah. How have you been finding Premier Cricket, Cal?
it was good. Last season was really like the first like entire season I've played. Because the year before we had like exams and I was injured a bunch. So it was good to get like a full season of like playing the same team.
Yeah.
Same people, pretty much. It's good. Pran's good.
Yeah. Rhett, you played a couple games for us. Like, did it surprise you at all? Did you think did anything shock you that you didn't think
I was just like,
okay?
It wasn't like the training when I went there was like pretty like not even that serious. Like It just felt like playing at a normal club, except everyone was a bit more arrogant. Like that's about it. Like that's actually the only difference. Like the level was not like as high as I was like expecting. Like when I think Premier Cricket, I'm like, oh my god, everyone's a gun.
Yeah.
Well, but honestly, I'm at the point like that most people get to eventually in cricket where I'm just like, not really anymore.
Yeah, especially at our club though, like the thirds and fourths bowlers are like just
Kids.
Probably the kind of bowlers you just find at your local club.
Yeah.
And like
Dano's meant to be pretty relaxed kind of culture.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A new coach this year. So.
Which is why like I didn't actually mind like playing there. I was like,
yeah.
Decent.
Well, like, yeah, it was actually so chilled in the fourth. Like, yeah.
I was just pissed that I didn't get to bat.
Yeah. Like all the captain ever said was just like, yeah, just try and do something to get you picked in the threes. Like that was just his pep talk every game. Just like, yeah, just try and make runs, take wickets. He just didn't care about the team, and then we just like won the premiership out of like for no reason, basically.
Can't believe he just saw me take like 10 catches on the little what's that thing called?
Yeah, the slips ramp. The
slips ramp, and he's like, yeah, just straight into second, mate. And I was like, oh my god, this guy's clearly never seen me field before.
No, mate, I don't know. We did not deserve to win a premiership. We were actually crap. Like, I don't remember us playing a single match where I was like, oh, we actually played well that game. And like, we just had some people who play in our team who just weren't premier cricketers. Like, I'll be honest. Like, I'm not going to name any names because I've been told off in the past for doing that. Pilch wasn't happy with with me naming someone in a previous episode. But yeah, actually, I don't care. He's not listening. Mustafa, I love you, mate, but he's not a premier cricketer.
But if there's anyone who is listening, it's Musi.
Yeah, true. But like the game against Melbourne, he's actually a pretty good player when he's had a lot of training, but he played one game against Melbourne and he hadn't played cricket for 3 months, and the first 3 balls went to the keeper on the full. So like, it's kind of debatable when someone who hasn't trained for 3 months is playing premier cricket. But yeah, and then like we had like some 15-year-olds playing stuff like, yeah, I don't know. It's not. I feel like people think it's a very high standard. I'm sure, Cal, you play a higher standard than me. You play twos, so I'm sure it's a pretty good level of the twos. But
yeah, it still like varies. Like you still get some in the weaker clubs, some pretty average cricket. Like you still play like Kingston, and like their twos are pretty. I don't know. Everyone like tries really hard. Like it's kind of like like people like act professionally in like the twos and above, but like still some mediocre players.
Yeah. I guess that is the difference between club cricket and premier cricket. Yeah. The biggest difference is how professional.
I'll be honest though, I think I have one of the better coaches in Victoria at my home club, but we trained harder and did more professional things at my local club than we did at premier cricket. But like, yeah, I understand.
From the training that I saw at like Dandy, like some of the actual talent at like Buckley, like there was more talented players at Buckley.
Yeah.
Like probably because I didn't see them for very long and stuff, but like, and it was just like in the nets and stuff, but like, because Buckley like get players from overseas and like have ex-professional players and stuff, like the talent like seems like their talent seems like better. Then you see these guys like actually trying to bowl in the nets and stuff, and you're like, oh, like that's the main difference.
Yeah. To be fair though, like, because we like train in like the thirds and fourths nets, we don't get to really see like one of his batsmen and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's pretty much all I've got, really. We just talked absolute dribble for 63 minutes, so I'd be surprised if anyone's listening, but surely.
How many average listeners do you get?
Well, it just like varies, really. Like if I do an episode about footy, like obviously there's more listeners than like a video about WWE. It's usually just like around like 10 to 15. But the weird thing is, there's been like 360 different people listen to it ever, which I don't get. Like, I don't know who those 360 are. There's like 90 from the United States. Like, I don't know who is that.
Lads.
Could be some absolute robots or something, but a bit weird.
No, that one about like favorite sporting moments actually got some lift off, mate. Should do some more personal ones.
A lot of them just get like, a lot of them people get like interested in the topic, or like, I don't know. For example, that one, they got interested by like the short Instagram video, and then it just like doesn't translate into like listens and stuff, because not everyone is keen on podcasts and stuff. Like it takes a special person to just sit there and listen to something for like an hour, I think.
Yeah.
Not
Maybe we should
everyone's
get some
cup of tea.
20-minute shorts going.
Just 5-minute comedy skits.
20-minute quickies.
To be fair, I'll just Cal's little Richard Cheek key bit. I'll just turn that into a little stand-up gig.
Make that the little promotional video.
Yeah. No, I'll make the Poon Hunter the promotional video.
Yeah, mate. I actually
100%.
lost it when he said
That's
that.
100% the promotional video. That's how I picked the promotional video. Just which part I lost it most. So that'll be it.
Everyone's gonna think like that's what it was the entire time, but it was just one good gag like the entire time.
Yeah, we were just
What's
cracking
his
gags
actual
all the way
name?
through. The Poon Hunter. Also, he played in the 1920s, so like, I just don't get how it's been passed on through generations that he was like Chinese Australian. Like,
Yeah,
is some bloke in the 60s been like, oh, there was some guy back in the 20s. He looked Asian. Like, come on, surely he was Chinese. It was like,
He was,
how do they know?
in the army in this First World War.
The Poon Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, that's impressive. Well, that's a letdown for Richard Cheekwee. That would be special if he had that title of the first Australian Chinese cricketer. But yeah, fair enough. Anyway,
Poon,
so I'll
man.
wrap it up. If you've enjoyed Cal, well, I guess going to check out his music has nothing to do with his gags. But yeah, if you just want to get around Cal, go get around his music. They can listen to it on SoundCloud. Are you on Spotify as well? Or
Not really, no.
yeah, well,
Been a
you
bit
can
inactive generally, but yeah.
you can go to his social medias and you can find links to like his band or actually like not even just wait, what is it? Rubbing? No, that's not. I was gonna say rubbing you the wrong way, but that means the opposite. But not even tooting your own trumpet. I don't know what I'm trying to say, but your album on SoundCloud's actually late. I was listening to the other day.
Oh,
But,
cheers.
yeah. Anyway, so go check that out. It's good tunes. And then Redos.
Just
Don't
don't
think
check
you
it
really.
out.
Don't
Just
think you really want a social media push.
keep,
It's a bit random.
keep a social distance from me.
Yeah, anyway, so if for some reason, if you're still listening, probably should just have a good look at yourself in the mirror.
Wait,
Question your
Rhett,
life choices.
I
Yeah,
saw, like when we're in that group chat, it only has like the tiny photo of like the people in the chat. And I saw Rhett's profile picture and I was like, oh, has Rhett got a girlfriend?
yeah.
I
And
do
then I
have a
clicked on it,
girlfriend.
it's like your
That's
younger
not
brother or something.
I
Yeah,
do, but it's not. That's not.
He is Hunter Poon, mate. He is Hunter Poon. Yeah. So cheers for listening, and thanks for joining me, lads.
No worries.